Hey guys, this week's video is dedicated in memory of Masha Bas Bat Sheva. You know, when it comes to the months of the year, different cultures have different ways of naming them. Some number them, some call them after deities or gods. In Judaism, the month of each month is named after usually what's going on in that month. Nisan is very much connected with miracles, the story of Passover. The holidays is Tishrei, the month of renewal, etc. And that begs the question, the month we just began this past week is called Av, which means father. Yet this is a month when we commemorate the destruction of the first and second temple. What's the connection with the name of the month? Why is it called Av? Why is it called Father? And the answer is because it's specifically when we're going through such a difficult time, when we're commemorating destruction, that we have to look inside and say, how are we still here? How do we get through this? How do we get out of this? And the answer is Av Echa Lekulanu. We have one Father in heaven. We all have the same Father up in heaven, God. We are all brothers and sisters. We are one family. We lean on each other. We support each other. We uplift each other. And it's in that way that we get through the most difficult of times. The Talmud tells us that the destruction of the temples was as a result of the sinat chinam, the hatred amongst the Jewish people. The antidote, how do we get the ultimate redemption? How do we get out of this exile? It's through Jewish unity. Avat chinam, loving each other, being there for each other, supporting each other, uplifting each other. And that is why the month of Av is specifically this month, to remind us that we're all family, that we need to be united as family. I want to share with you a beautiful story that I just read this morning. In 2008, Israel launched Operation Kaslet in Gaza. This was a huge operation, war, that many people were killed. The IDF lost many amazing heroes. The first Israeli soldier to be killed in the operation was a fellow named Dvir Amalionov. His mother, Dalia, shares this story. She said she was so heartbroken for so many months. And then her younger daughter said, "Look, Ma, there's a concert happening near the old city of Jerusalem. Let's go." So she went. While she was there, she was sitting in the bleachers, and she saw behind her a little child, blonde, blue eyes, and she was a kindergarten teacher, so she started talking to the child. "How are you? Like, what's your name?" etc. And the father noticed this stranger adult talking to one of his kids and said, "Come here, Eshel, come here, come sit with me and Dvir." And when she heard that name, she turned around and she said, "How old is this little baby that you were holding?" And he's like, "Okay, 6 months old." And she said, "Was he born before the Operation Kaslet or after?" He said he was born after. He wasn't sure why she's asking so many questions. And she said, "Please tell me, why did you name him Dvir?" So he said, "The truth is we named him after the first soldier who was killed in the war. We felt that this was an appropriate name." She said, "I am his mother. You have no idea how much comfort this gives me." At first, they didn't believe him. The mother, Shiri, came over and she couldn't believe that this was actually the mother. She says, "Yes." And she told him where she lives, and her name was Dalia Amalionov. And she told him how much it meant to her that they named their son after her son. And Shiri said, "I want to tell you the story behind this. I got pregnant, and the doctors told me that this was not going to be a healthy baby, and I should consider aborting it. And I didn't know what to do. I was heartbroken, I was nervous, I was anxious. And I turned to God, and I said, "God, please give me a sign. Please give me a sign that everything will be all right." It was during Hanukkah, as I lit the menorah. After lighting the menorah, we turned on the news, and that's when we heard about Dvir, the first soldier who died. And I said, "This is going to be my sign." I said, "God, if you bless me with a healthy baby boy, we will name him Dvir, after this hero of Israel." And I told my husband this. And when he was born as a healthy baby boy, it was a miracle, and we named him Dvir. And Dalia says, "You don't understand how much this means to me. Just a few nights ago, I was having a hard time sleeping, and I said, 'God, please send me a sign. Please send me a sign for my son Dvir.' And then I met you guys, and I met your little Dvir. This is a hug from heaven." And they both looked at each other and realized how much they each meant to each other, how much there was an interplay between their families, supporting them through difficult times. This, my friends, this is being there for each other, being a shoulder to lean on, inspiring each other and uplifting each other. Our unity is what is going to get us through this difficult time to the ultimate redemption in Jerusalem. Shabbat Shalom.